Welcome to Friday Friends, RI Elder Info's weekly look at the organizations and individuals providing resources for Rhode Island seniors, caregivers, and professionals.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. It is 9 o'clock on Friday, and you are watching me, Deb Burton, Executive Director of RI Elder Info. And this is Friday Friends, where every week I bring you information and resources that you or someone you know needs to know about. So please hit the like button, the share button, the bells, the whistles, all those social media cues, because we are talking with our friend Annie Murphy today from the Alzheimer's Association about their amazing Caregiver Journey Conference. And I know for a fact that there are a lot of folks in listening area who are working with, living with, loving, or are individuals who are impacted by dementia. It is so prevalent that this conference that they're going to have is absolutely amazing. So stay tuned for my conversation with Annie. I love talking to her. She's a lot of fun. Now, as you all know, we are a 501c3 nonprofit, and we could not do this without the support of our sponsors. So a huge thank you to United Healthcare, a shout out to Brightside Behavioral Health, and McCarthy Law, our sponsor for Friday Friends. Here's a message from McCarthy Law.
Here at McCarthy Law, we practice in the areas of estate planning, long-term care planning, elder care law, and residential real estate. Our focus is really on providing peace of mind to our clients.
If you're interested in scheduling a consultation with our office, you can feel free to reach out to us at 401-541-5540. You can also reach out via website at www.mccarthylawri.com. You also should check out our social media, both on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn for some helpful tips and tricks.
Hi, Annie. How are you?
Good, Deb. How are you? Thank you so much for having me this morning.
Absolutely. I love having you come on the show to talk about the Caregiver Conference because I think it's so important. So in case people have not heard about this, please tell everybody about your amazing conference.
Okay. Well, first of all, Deb, just to let you know, I'm actually the senior program manager for the Alzheimer's Association Rhode Island chapter, and we are actually located, first of all, in Providence, Rhode Island, right here on the east side of Providence, and we, support all families supporting someone with Alzheimer's disease and other related dementia. And to talk about this conference, it's actually, it's a labor of love of mine. This is actually our 15th year that we've been offering this conference. We had a small stop during COVID when I think we had maybe 1 year that we didn't have the conference. But this conference is truly for our caregivers, people living with the diagnosis, our, our community-based providers, and those who are just wrapping their arms around those individuals who are living with this diagnosis. So the conference really brings together, like I said, people from all over the state of Rhode Island. We have an amazing group of presenters, keynote address speaker, a lunchtime presentation, but all of this takes place at the Crown Plaza on Thursday, 6 days away. So Thursday, April 23rd at the Crown Plaza in Warwick, Rhode Island. What people need to know is that registration is still open, and you can register up until Monday night. Registration will close. But what I will tell individuals who are listening that if, they want to give me a call here at the office, just to see if there's any, extra availability to attend, just give me a call at 421-0008. My extension is 9704, and we can talk about that. But, Deb, this conference, it really brings some of our incredible professionals and people who are in the field to provide education in all different areas. One of the presentations that we're doing this year, because, we're now talking so much about technology and AI. So there's actually one of the presentations is going to be on how technology and AI can actually support families within their home setting. And also, and that's actually being provided by AARP this year. I'm very excited to let you all know about our keynote address lunchtime speaker. That is Dr. Ted Huey from Butler Hospital. He's actually going to be talking about really where we are right now in the advancements of treatment, the incredible research that's going on here in Rhode Island to advance treatments and just what we know about Alzheimer's and what's causing it. So I'm very excited about that. We have right now over almost 40 vendors, our community-based providers that will be at the conference. So our attendees will have an opportunity to interact, talk with vendors, talk with businesses about the services that they provide. And then I think what's so incredible about this conference is it gives our caregivers opportunities to connect with one another. We've been doing this conference for a very long time, and I always tell our caregivers, interact, exchange telephone numbers, find out about, what they're doing to support their, their family member or their friends. This is an opportunity for, community connection. What I can tell you is I've had registrants call and say, there's no breakout sessions. Why can't I sign up for a breakout session? What I want individuals to know is that you can just come to the conference that day. You'll have time to choose your breakout sessions and just be part of the day. So
I love that. And having been volunteering for this conference for a while, it makes my heart happy to see guests come in and see each other and just give each other big hugs, because the last time they saw each other in person was at your last conference. And to see that level of connection and support among each other is absolutely amazing. For this year, if individuals are maybe in need of bringing their loved one with dementia with them to the conference, will there be a quiet spot for the individual with dementia or any support?
Yes.
In that?
So two things. I just want to be clear. Unfortunately, we're not able to offer respite opportunities this year. I think just with some shortages that are happening in, the state right now when it comes to staff providers, we're just not able to offer respite. But we do have a quiet area, set aside in the grand foyer, and where, if someone needs to just have quiet time, decompress, disconnect with the crowd, that there will be that opportunity. And then, I think what's really important is we have on hand many of the Alzheimer's Association Rhode Island chapter's volunteers. Some of our support group facilitators will be there. We have nursing students from CCRI and who can be, present if someone just needs, time for a one-on-one. And that's what's so special about having so many of our community-based providers is that, they can also kind of pull, an attendee aside and give that person that one-on-one if they need it. So, like I said, this is just a wonderful opportunity that the association is allowed to offer to bring the community together, to bring our families together, and I have to say, we can't do this conference without our sponsors. And I just really want to give a shout out to them as well. So I have to thank the Office of Healthy Aging, the Rhode Island Department of Health, the Rhode Island Geriatric Education Center, and of course, Warwick Mall and Bliss Properties for their dedication year after year for sponsoring this conference and just helping us financially to make this happen. And it allows it to continue to be at no cost for our families. So,
and I don't think it could be overstated how important the support of the sponsors are for this conference, because a lot of times caregivers are sometimes financially strapped with the cost of caregiving. And to be able to come to this conference and get the information for free and learn the actual tools. I was scrolling through the schedule last night, and I see that you'll actually have some training tips for the caregivers on, like, the hands-on, how do you help someone with their personal care if maybe they're a little resistant to it, or that kind of hands-on care that sometimes you find that it's a need that develops slowly over time. So it wasn't something that you learned in like a rehab unit when somebody was discharging. And I'm really excited to see that opportunity for the families to learn how to do that. You also have a walk in their shoes. Could share a little bit about that? I'm super excited to be the assistant in that room.
Yeah, so the walk in the shoes is really what we call it's a dementia simulation opportunity where attendees get garbed up. They wear all sorts of things to mute their senses. And so it gives you the simulation or the experience of what it might be like for, having, arthritis, or, potentially experiencing having hallucinations or delusions, and all of these things happening at the same time, but then being asked to perform tasks, and potentially having, lots of noise around you so you can kind of experience what it's potentially like living with a cognitive issue like Alzheimer's or another dementia. So I think what it is truly an eye-opening experience for those who are supporting someone, because I think what it really does, it helps us to develop empathy and understanding. So, if you are supporting someone and you think that they're not paying attention to you or not listening, truly what might be happening is that person may not be able to process what you're saying as quickly as they used to. And so we as caregivers have to learn that we need to slow down and we need to wait and allow our loved one to actually process what we're saying, so that we as caregivers have to slow down, how we're interacting with that individual. So I think it's an eye-opening experience, and we're very thankful to LCB Communities for, offering this opportunity at the conference every year. So it's just, it's something we keep bringing back. And I encourage, if we have, caregivers who have attended the conference in the past, do it again, because I think it's something that we all need to continue to ground ourselves, to remember that we need to slow down and to really understand maybe what that person is experiencing. So.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I was just at the home show last weekend, and a woman shared that her sister had dementia, and she's like, I really wish I could understand what her experience was like. And I was like, well, there is a conference coming up where you can do that and also learn a lot more about dementia and ways to make the world a better place for the one that you love who has dementia, and to understand it from the individual's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So took your brochure and she's like, I'm registering, I'm coming. That's great.
And I think, one of the other sessions that we're doing is really to understand, how we can help maximize the person's who has dementia, how maximize their independence, but also create an environment so that the person is safe, so we can potentially reduce wandering, and just really promote a healthy everyday experience for that person, and for the caregiver, helping them to develop just some of those skills, how to put those types of things in place, and just to understand why wandering happens and how we can reduce it. So that's just another one of the sessions that we're offering, and I'm very excited about that one. It's important to just recognize there will be people who can't attend the conference this year, and we're not recording any of the sessions, unfortunately. But I want people to know that we have resources at the Alzheimer's Association that are available for families who are supporting someone, whether you're just starting out, and someone's just been diagnosed in your family. I always tell people to, reach out to the Alzheimer's Association, our 24/7 helpline, just to find out, ask the question, my person has just been diagnosed, or I've just been diagnosed. What should I be doing right now? The association, we're here for individuals throughout their entire journey. And, it's, as a caregiver and family supporting someone, that we don't need to do this by ourselves. We don't need to do this alone. It's amazing, and Deb and you and I've been, we've done community, events together and presentations. And, how many times do we, meet someone who says, we don't even know about the Alzheimer's Association, and we didn't know about the services and the supports and the helpline. So, I just want people to know about everything that we do. And that 24/7 helpline is a gate
Blessing.
Yeah, it really is. So, that number is, so people know, it's 1-800-272-3900, and you can reach us anytime, day or night. And it doesn't matter the language that you speak, because we use a language line, so we can interact with individuals in over 200 languages. In Rhode Island, we're becoming much more of a diverse state. So, I want, our community to know about that.
And that number again was 1-800-272
3900.
3900.
Yep. And Deb, some people just don't have the technology. So if people are interested in registering for the conference, they can just call our 24/7 helpline, or they can, just go on our website at alz.org/RI. Just scroll down a little bit, and there's a link specifically to the conference, and they can register that way. And we've made the registration link really easy, so I think anybody could do it that way as well. So
awesome. And for anybody watching, Annie mentioned that we go out and give presentations. Annie and I, we can do them individually, we can do them jointly. We enjoy working together, or at least I enjoy working with you, Annie. I hope you enjoy working with me. So that if, there's maybe a faith community that is seeing, members struggling, or the library is seeing folks coming in, or a community group wants to see how can they support other members in the community. Obviously coming to the conference and getting the information is a great option, but we're always welcome, happy to come on out.
Absolutely. Deb, I'm actually going to put in the chat for viewers. We actually have what's called a speaker request Google form. So, this is just a wonderful way that if a community partner, or, someone in the community, a business, it can be, it could even be, one of our, manufacturing companies who would like for us to come out and talk to their employees. So, this is just a great way for them to reach out to us at the association, tell us what kind of, presentation they would like for us to do, and we'll get back to them within 24 hours to, schedule that. And, you as one of our community, educators and, champions, we can do these kind of presentations either singular or together. So this is just a great way to connect with us and tell us what your needs are.
Awesome. I love it. Well, Annie, I am looking forward to seeing you on Thursday, the 23rd at the Crown Plaza in Warwick, Rhode Island.
Yes, yeah, thank you. And, Deb, thank you all for your dedication. We'll see you next Thursday.
Awesome. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Everybody, this conference is truly amazing. And we have right now in the state approximately 28,000 people who are formally diagnosed with dementia. The thing is there are likely a lot more individuals who are not formally diagnosed, because one of the hallmarks of dementia is that you may not realize that you're struggling with it. The people around you may recognize it. And this is the opportunity for the folks around you and yourself, if you do find you're having some challenges, come to the conference on the 23rd. Like Annie said, it's free, and get the information. It may be a situation where a trip to your doctor can really kind of calm your fears, but it's a wonderful opportunity to connect with other people. It's free, there's lunch, and it is an opportunity to get a lot of information and resources in one place. So I hope I see you. Please stop by and say hi. And let us know that you saw the video today. I look forward to seeing you all again next week. In the meantime, be well and be kind.